fellow Toastmasters. When I was sitting there looking at my icebreaker speech, I had no idea how to begin. The only thing that kept popping in my head was, how much does a poor bear weigh? And on my shoulder popped in Jason with his British voice, just going, do not start with a joke. People are not going to laugh, and it's going to throw off the rest of your speech. And on the other hand was Google, my reliable source of information in the last 10 years. Google agreed, do not start with a joke. So I ditched how much does a polar bear weigh, and I went with what I saw. And my intuition. If you've networked, if you've been to bars, you probably know the same questions keep coming up. They all start with W. Specifically, there's probably 3 or 4 that you'll get in a row no matter what. The first is, what is your name? So my name is actually Robert Spencer Coates, which is kind of in line with my family. My father's name is Charles Robert Coates, and his father's name is Tom Robert Coates. So we kind of just jump every generation to the middle name. And in line, I always wished it was Winston Churchill that I was named after, Winston Spencer Churchill, but no, it's just a name my mom made up. So the next question that, without doubt, always comes up is, where are you from? Where'd you go to school? So to keep things simple, I always say Chicago. I actually moved 14 times growing up. I lived in Seattle, Texas, Florida, Wisconsin, Whistler, British Columbia, all over pretty much the country in North America. I never say this because the next question is always, is your family in the military? Like, why did you move so much? So I typically stick with Chicago just for simplistic reasons, but since I want to get to know you all better and for you to know me better, I figured I'd give you the backstory. My family's not in the military, and they had absolutely no reason for moving. So you might kind of be like, oh, like, hey, like next place. I'd be in the middle of school, and they'd be like, time to move. They were having issues with their relationship, and I think that the prime reason we moved so often was that rather than addressing their own issues, they chose to blame their geography. Geography was a very easy thing to change, at least for us. My father owned his company. He was able to go wherever he wanted to go. So end result, moved a lot. I don't have a home base, and I say I'm from Chicago for the ease of purpose, but really not from anywhere. So the next question that comes up a lot, if you're at a bar, they already know my name, they know where I'm from. What do you do for work? I work at Groupon. For those of you that are not familiar, it's a lime green website, has lots of cats all over it. We sell daily deals. Essentially, that is a voucher for a local business. My city is Philadelphia. I do sales for Philadelphia. I work with local businesses, everything ranging from whitewater rafting to adult novelty stores. The most interesting thing I've ever sold was an adult novelty store. I don't think a lot of people can say this in their profession, but in 4 days, I essentially sold $40,000 worth of adult toys to Philadelphia. So, interesting fact. Probably not a lot of people can say that. It's my claim to fame. So, along with that, my job is very interesting. I get to work with a lot of small businesses. I know more about Brazilian waxes and mani-pedis and the most oddball things you could possibly imagine. Our subscriber base is almost entirely female, so I have to go, what do you want, Katerina, my little sister? Hey, big sister Chris, like, what would you be interested in buying, like, on this website? I get their ideas, I get their feedback, and that's where I get a lot of my ideas to call businesses. So, along those lines, is a question that I like to ask people when I first meet them. I think that where you're from what your name is great, but it doesn't give you a very good understanding as to who you are and what you'd like to accomplish. My favorite question is, where would you like to be in 5 years or 10 years? By knowing someone's goals, you're able to see what they're about, what they're trying to accomplish, what they're doing now, and why they're doing it. I think it's always much easier to get a grasp on who you are by knowing where you would like to be. Where I like to be in 5 years is running my own business, hopefully on a beach in Phuket, Thailand, or skiing on the Alps. That's my goal, that's where I would like to be, and that's why I'm here and trying to improve myself. And yeah, so where would you like to be in 5 years? I would like to know that answer by some point in my career here at Toastmasters. And for all those that are still wondering how much a polar bear weighs, it's enough to break the ice.